Hi, beautiful people. Hey, y'all. So, welcome back to Exotical Insights, y'all. So, today I want to talk to y'all about people pleasing. So, first and foremost, I'm going to tell you what it is and I'm going to give you some examples of what you can do to stop because you need to stop. So, people pleasers. You tend to, well, first of all, I feel personally that with most people pleasers, it developed in childhood. You probably had a very tumultuous, like parent or guardian or whoever, and you weren't able to like ascertain like their feelings, and you just had to like kind of learn to say, okay, well, if I act this way, then they won't lash out on me, or I don't know. It kind of probably developed in childhood trauma. So that's like one way. Of course, it could have came from anything, but that's how I feel most. That's where I feel most people pleasers got that from. It's like you kind of had to appease other people in order to almost be safe in a sense, or to get validation, or to be seen, or to be heard, or even in some extreme cases, even to get food and things of that nature. But I won't go too deep into that because I don't want to trigger anybody. But yes, so that's where I feel most of the time it came from. So what do you do as a people pleaser? So if you're not sure you are one, just listen. I mean, if you're here, you're probably thinking it, or either you just supporting the channel. Hey, but so you give too much. You give too much and you don't receive anything back. Now, there's nothing wrong with giving, but you give to the point where like you're pouring from an empty cup. Like you, let's say at 9 o'clock p.m. you wanted to, I don't know, go work out for an hour for yourself, and you promised yourself you were going to do that. Someone calls you at 8:45 asking you to do something, and you're like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Like people pleasing, because you're not honoring what you wanted to do. Instead, you're putting their needs before yours. It's a thing where essentially it can be like an extension of low self-esteem, to where you don't feel like your needs are important enough, or that you aren't important enough, and that the people around you are more important. So hence why you prioritize whatever they need and not your own. So like I said, it'll leave you pouring from an empty cup. Essentially, it'll cause you a lot of internal stress because you're neglecting your own needs. Because again, in a way, like I said, it kind of shows that you feel like your needs are not as important as other people's. In time, you will develop resentment to the people who you keep doing these things for, because at the end of the day, they won't do the same thing for you, because typically people pleasers attract people takers. Like you're a giver and you attract takers, and they can see that in you, and so they will continue to ask and ask because they like, oh, okay, she'll do it. I know she'll do it, or he'll do it, or whatever. But most of the time they won't do the same for you, because those are just the type of people. Because if somebody like if you are a very caring person about the people around you, you won't constantly ask somebody over and over again to like do things, especially when you know they're like dropping what they have to do for you. Like if you're a considerate person, you wouldn't do that. But most of the time people pleasers do not attract considerate people, they attract inconsiderate people. Okay, so what it does is it reduces your confidence within yourself, because you start to betray yourself and you aren't honoring your own word. So you will like again, I use the example of you working out at 9, and then instead you start to do something for somebody who called you at 8:45. First and foremost, they didn't give you enough time. 15 minutes is not enough time. Second of all, again, the more you let yourself down and betray yourself, it's kind of like a negative feedback loop. It's like then you'll start to feel, okay, well, yeah, my needs aren't important, and then the next time somebody needs something, okay, I can do something for them, and it's like a temporary, maybe it's a temporary boost in like, oh, I feel like a good person because I'm helping somebody else, but you're not helping yourself. So self-preservation over everything. That's what I'm preaching over here. That's what I'm teaching y'all. That's why I point out these little things that people do, so that you ultimately can be aware of what's going on around you, and so that you can choose yourself every time, because that is super important. It's not about I don't want to help anybody. I'm not saying don't help anybody. If you can and you genuinely want to, do so, but don't feel that you have to. Like, so what are some ways that you can not be a people pleaser? Well, first and foremost, say no. And no is a complete sentence. Do not explain yourself. You do not have to explain. Can you come with me at 7 p.m. on Friday to the movies? No. That's it. No. It's going to be uncomfortable at first, so understand it. It's the same thing as going to the gym and working out your arms for the first time in 10 years, right? The first time you do it, it's going to be uncomfortable. The second time, it's going to be uncomfortable. You keep on going with it, and after a while, you're going to flex that muscle, and it's going to get stronger. Just say no. Just say no. And if you have trouble answering like quickly, for example, like you're like, okay, sure, pause and say, you know what, I'll think about it. Or if you're on the phone, be like, oh, give me 1 second, or hang up, or I don't know. Or if it's a text message, that's even better, because you just really sit back and think about it. But the bottom line is just say no. And I would gather, this is my suggestion, I don't know how realistic this would be, but like for like a good month, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, however long you can do it, literally just say no. Just say no to any and everything. Even if you can, even if you want to, say no, because you need, as a people pleaser, you need to flex that no muscle. You have to. So just say no. Just stop. Just pause. Do everything. Do everything that you wanted to do. Like, I don't know, an extended amount of time. I just gave number like 30 to 60, 90 days as an example. I don't know how long you want to do it, 5 days, 10 days. I don't know, whatever the case may be, but like get your mind wrapped around the fact that you don't have to do things for people, because at the end of the day, if you're around people and they only want to be around you because of the things that you do, they don't like you as a person for real, and you don't need that. Okay, you do not need that. So, I would suggest just saying no. Like, even if it's something that you can't do, no. Can you help me pick up my son from school? No. Just say no. And get comfortable, with that uncomfortable feeling of you saying no, because you never say no. Right? And just really sit with it and like journal, write down how you feel. I don't know, maybe even talk it out with somebody that you trust. However you want to do it, but just get comfortable with it and do it, like I said, for an extended period of time. Like, just, and really, and also, in addition to you saying no, prioritize all the things that you put off because you were constantly going around pouring into everybody else's cup. Now take that time to pour into yours, because that's the only way you're going to learn how to not be a people pleaser. But as a people pleaser, you don't get anything back. You give and give and give, and then when it's time that you need something, whatever. But in a way, you kind of taught people to treat you like you don't need anything, because you're always the one giving and you never speak up for your needs. So that's another thing. Start speaking up for what you want. If people don't want to hear what you have to say, then cut those people off. Not literally. Well, I mean, it depends on the situation. But that means that, like, if they can have needs and they can express their feelings, but you can't, that's not the person that you need to be around. It's one-sided. They were only there because of what they could get, not because they care about you. So anyways, y'all, I'm more than willing to help y'all stop being people pleasers, because at the end of the day, most able-bodied grown people, their issues are their own, and you are an able-bodied grown person, and you got your own issues to deal with, and it is not up to you to fix the whole world and fix them, okay? So work on yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So I will talk to you beautiful people later. Bye.